Cup, come spend some time. I know it's early, the start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Local Cafe. Rise and shine, baby, wake and bake. Clear out your mind, baby, just take a break. Local Cafe. Chill out with us today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the coolest, the calmest, and the chillest show in all of the Local Live universe. Welcome to Local Cafe. Hope everyone's having a great morning, a great Tuesday, February the 4th. It is awesome, guys. We have a lot of birthday people here. We're definitely going to be wishing you guys a happy birthday here soon. But as you all know, I have my lovely co-host with me today, Miss Chillest of Beans. I'm sorry.
Chillest of beans.
Chillest of Beans. How are you, ma'am? Good morning.
I'm doing fantastic this morning, other than the gut punch feeling I got because I'm still sore from rock climbing. So other than that, I'm fantastic. I'm to the moon.
You're still sore.
I'm still sore. I didn't think that I would be sore till this day, but apparently rock climbing is a very, very harsh sport.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you have to think about it, right? It uses your upper body, your lower body, your core, your back, shoulder, literally almost every muscle group. You got to hold yourself up, literally push yourself up with your legs and hold. And yeah, definitely.
So I do recommend it if you do want to have a full body workout without thinking you're having a workout.
That makes sense. Hell yeah. Well, Mr. Psychosis, a faithful of the show, is happy birthday today. So happy birthday to Psychosis. And I believe Twisted Puppet said it's their birthday as well. So happy birthday, Twisted Puppet.
Really?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Psychosis and Twisted Puppet. They're always here and they always put a smile to my face whenever I see them in chat. So happy birthday.
Definitely. Hope it's a beautiful day for you guys. Hopefully, the weather is nice. You can enjoy some warmth, not no cold and rain. Well, I saw y'all had Grim had a test stream last night.
He did. He worked out the kinks a little bit when it comes to the format of how the stream looks, which I really appreciate it. It looks very different from all the other streams. Mm-hmm. He's still getting his footing in the whole streaming thing, which I do understand. Because I went through the same thing. You're never going to be great right off the bat, right?
Oh, of course.
So, he did great so far, and I hope people give him the love, kindness, and patience that he needs in order to make the stream the way that he needs to.
Definitely. I pulled it up and skimmed through it a little bit. I saw the format change, and it's cool as hell how he has the new format. It's like him, the countdown, the chat, and then the person. So that dude, man, that's a smart guy. That is beautiful, guys. So let's go and get into this docket. We have some amazing news stories to cover. And, as always, our Docket team, I think they are the best Docket team out of any show. Those dudes are so easy to work with. They're very punctual. They always ask questions for verification. Shout out to Gino for coming in. She's helping us out, make sure copyrights and all that are good. Because I had a boo-boo my first stream, but we were able to solve it. But, yeah.
Really? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, so, remember we were talking about football, and we showed the clip of what was supposed to be the first down? So, I pulled up an X clip, or Twitter clip, whatever you want to call it. And it was the dude talking over it, and it was cut up as a part of the game. So we got a copyright notice on it, not a strike, just a notice. Doug Savano with the 2 coffee time for me. Thank you, Mr. Doug. That is greatly appreciated, sir. We thank you for the love. So that 40 seconds got a copyright, not a strike, but the other one, like a warning or
The
whatever.
notice.
Yep.
Mhm.
So Gino hit me up. I had questions. Shy 2425, bro, you're amazing. Thank you, Shy. Remember, guys, as Keem said, there is a code to this motherfucker. There is a code he's trying to tell us, guys. So, you have to look at the donations from Locale Live and then Locale Cafe and any other show he does. We need a detective on this, 24/7, trying to break this damn code he's doing. So, but anyways, we appreciate it, sir. So anyways, yeah, so that little clip, got it. Gino hit me up and, I asked questions because I was like, well, I thought since it was talked over, it was like cuts. There's like no sports is a big no-no. So luckily YouTube was able to help me, cut it down and we're good to go now. So, but again, lesson learned. CJ with the 10, got my energy drink in hand. Hey, bro, it's caffeine. So, anything works for the good pick me up. So,
That's true.
I did forget.
Speaking of which, what do you have in your cup today, Mr. Ken?
So I did a little change up. I know I was supposed to do the Mudslide Boogie from Bones Coffee. Shout out Bones Coffee. They're freaking amazing. I got a lot of love in the chat this morning from people. I got a lot of love. I can't talk. A lot of love in the chat this morning about Tim Hortons coffee. Evidently,
Really?
3 or 4 people ordered it. They tried it. They all said, Ken, you were right. This is really good coffee. So I brewed up some Tim Hortons. Shout out to the fans that are trying Tim Hortons. I'm telling you guys, 2-pound bag of beans, no pun intended, 2-pound bag of beans for $15, guys. I'm telling you, for that amount of money, especially in today's economy, this is really good coffee. Really good coffee. So I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon. I know if I try and order it on Amazon, I get it same day or next day, overnight. So you'll get it quick. So, Ms. Beans, what do you have in your cup today?
Well, I have Cafe Bustelo with my regular coconut creamer. But today I have my little Hello Kitty mug. Fun fact, do you know why she doesn't have a mouth?
I do not.
So apparently the creator did not put a mouth on Hello Kitty because she speaks from the heart. So that's kind of a daily reminder to all our viewers out there to speak from your heart and to give kindness every day. And that's what I really appreciate about Hello Kitty and the whole Sanrio universe.
That's beautiful. Shout out to No Mouth Hello Kitty. Mystic Zorro with the 5, 2025, chilling with some coffee while I'm stocking shelves at work. Happy Tuesday, y'all, and good morning. Definitely going to listen to this every day. We appreciate it, bro. I know I've said it a million times, but as new viewers come in, shout out to Keem for the promotion last night on Locale Live. That was awesome. We have, I believe, over 2,600 subs now, so that is freaking beautiful, guys. Thank you so much for that love. This is definitely just a morning show, right? We're not going to scream, yell, cause drama, argue. No one wants that in the morning. So the whole premise of this show is to drink coffee and read the news. That's literally it. So,
At least we try not to, because I know sometimes we cover some clips from Locale Live or the other shows, and they are a little bit more explicit or a little bit more energetic, to say the least.
Good way to put it, Beans. But at least in the early part of the show, we don't do that. So let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. So a fan favorite has been the Big Bear Eagles. A lot of people in the Discord like that we cover it, because it's wholesome content, So we'll go ahead and get this going, guys. So we got how many days? 29 days. We're doing the countdown here on Locale Cafe of the Big Bear Bald Eagle hatching their eggs. I like to point it out every single stream, but they have 8,400 people watching them, guys. That is beautiful. People love the wholesome content. People love nature. People love, just I say nature. I could also say natural things happening, because animals are definitely different types of creatures than humans, but just something as wholesome as this is a big deal, because again, they are again, not an endangered species. I need to look up that word, that they're not endangered but something else. But this is amazing. We have people on watch waiting for the hatching of the babies, because who doesn't love baby animals, right? It's always beautiful to look at a baby animal. So I did not
I
hit.
mean, these eagles are live streaming their whole parenting journey. Meanwhile, I can't even post a selfie without debating it for an hour. So, just some food for thought.
There we go. And here's something else to keep in mind, guys. September 15th, 2021 is when they started streaming this. I don't know how that works in terms of YouTube. Threatened species. Thank you, Slicky. I don't know how that works in terms of YouTube. Have they really had a constant stream going for almost 4 years now, 3.5, 4 years now? That's wild. That is wild. A lot of changes in battery and power and all that. So.
I saw Twisted Puppet in chat said that we're just a little too loud. I did adjust my mic, but please, guys, let me know if it's too loud or too soft or anything in between. We are going to move on to the daily horoscope for February 4th. If you were born today, avoid squabbles with others today, which might be difficult because, for starters, people are eager to argue. Don't we know that's true in the LCU?
Hey.
And secondly, they are driven by their emotions and feelings and not by logic. This could lead to silly disputes about practically anything. Ooh, I need more coffee. Steer clear of this for your peace and mind. Again, it is Psychosis and Twisted Puppet's birthday, so happy birthday to you. That horoscope is specifically towards you guys. Next, we're going to move on to this day in history. So in 2004, the website Facebook was launched.
The Lolcow Live store is dropping today.
Let's go, guys. That is beautiful.
Today.
Everyone's been wanting merch. Everyone's been begging for a merch shop. The store is dropping today, guys. So be looking for that if you're in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, become a Cash Cow member so you can buy your merch. A link is in the description to join that Discord. I am a moderator in there, so if you have any type of issues, feel free to reach out to me. Sorry, Beans, continue.
I'm sorry, I just love that so much, how sometimes he just pops in here, gives us he just drops a bomb, and then we're over here we don't know what to do, but let's continue with the news. Also, use code BEANS. Okay, so in 2004, the website Facebook was launched. If you didn't know, it was actually launched as thefacebook.com. So, the birth of Facebook, where friendships go to die over political arguments. We all know that's true. In the 2000, The Sims launches, which is a very, very popular game.
Man, that is an iconic game. I think they're on 4 or 5 now. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I do know a very prominent person in our Discord, Kyrie. She always plays The Sims. And I just love watching her sometimes because she does this thing where I remember one day she made the LCL, so the Lolcow Live host in The Sims. It was hilarious.
That's fun.
It was
beautiful.
Very accurate too. So in 1938, Disney releases the animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
That is 1938. Was that one of their first movies?
That was actually one of their first Disney princess movies, yes. And I love this fact because Snow White is actually my mom's favorite princess. I don't like this because it gave a very unrealistic cleaning expectation thanks to forest animals.
That's terrible. The other thing I will say is it's also my mother-in-law's favorite princess.
Oh, really? I think Snow White is pretty popular among a lot of women back in the day because it was the first, the first Disney princess ever. Now hundreds, thousands, millions of little girls look up to these Disney princesses, love going to Disney World, love dressing up like these princesses. Even I do. If you know what Disney bounding is from your wife, I love to Disney bound.
I've never heard that. What I will say is
Mhm.
when I proposed to her, they I guess my sister-in-law actually did like a Disney princess like party for all the girls, and they all dressed up and like they had all the Disney princesses there, and they had lunch with them or something. They all loved it. Obviously they had a great time taking pictures and all that. So that was really cool of them.
That sounds absolutely adorable. So Disney bounding is whenever you go to Disney World, you're not allowed to dress up exactly like the characters. It's a big no-no in the park, but you can dress up relatively in the same colors or in the same like pattern scheme, and that's completely fine. A lot of adults do that just to like kind of immerse themselves in the park a little bit more. So that's a little fun thing to do if you ever plan on going to Disney. In 1913, Rosa Parks was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. She passed on October 24th, 2005. She was 92 years old.
All right, so
Rosa Parks.
real
Yes.
quick, they're saying I'm still super low. I just turned my mic up, guys, so let me know what you think here. I'm just doing it from right here, so continue. I apologize.
No, you're fine. We all know who Rosa Parks is, and if you don't, please read up. Because she was a very prominent figure in our history.
Yes.
I remember, I think it was in high school, I did like a very big project on her, and that was probably my favorite project I ever did. And then we're going to end the Today in History with 1789, with George Washington was elected to serve as the first U.S. president by a unanimous vote in the first electoral college.
You want to know a fun fact?
I do want to know a fun fact. I love fun facts.
My wife's lineage is actually to George Washington. She's related to George Washington through blood. Yep.
Really? How did she figure that out?
So one of the family members, I guess, this has been passed down by so many people. I haven't actually seen it, but they did a printout of it, and they have copies of all the birth certificates. And if you follow, I guess, somewhere where they have the lineage of George Washington, the breakdown, it actually lines up with the names on the birth certificates and dates and all that. So it's pretty much confirmed. I don't know if it's like 100% like what they have to do for it to be like acknowledged by the government or whatever. But yeah, it's wild. Like I've seen like the copies that they have and printouts and all that. It's pretty wild actually.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome to like find out where you come from or just find out who was in your family back in the day. I did do a 23andMe at one point, but
Yep.
to do that sort of stuff, like figuring out if you have like any prominent figures in your lineage, you have to pay like, I forgot how much it was, but a premium. And I wanted to know about my genetic code, but not that much to pay even extra. But that's wild. And pretty amazing. She can just go up to anybody and be like, I'm related to George Washington.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Maybe that's why she has a really good hold over you. She has that presidential speak.
Something like that, yeah. She's a very convincing woman, I can say that much.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. She's adorable, and she gives you those puppy dog eyes, and you just have to crumple and say
it's
no.
a wrap, yep. I tell everyone, like, that she's seen a whole different side of me that really no one else ever has, because I'm the big guy, and I try and be super nice to people. I really, really do, but I used to be a kind of a bully, but I'm a big teddy bear now. That's all it is to it.
Ken, the big teddy bear. So speaking of teddy bears, Valentine's Day is coming up. February 14th is now 10 days away. We have some Valentine Day ideas for some people. So the classic, dinner and a movie. For dinner, you can try to find a fancy menu or restaurant of some sort. You can plan a day at the spa together. Treat your loved one and yourself at the same time. I know there's a big thing about couple massages. That would be very nice. I know a lot of people are stressed out.
We've done that.
You've done that before?
Oh, yeah.
How was the experience? I was thinking about taking Grim to one.
So this is like super wild, right? Super wild.
Mhm.
So, we 2 years ago, she took me to Chicago for my birthday. And we were in Chicago for like 10 days. And those of you in chat that are in Chicago, there's a place called Aura, A-U-R-A or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But it's like, not exactly like a bathhouse, but it's like a wellness place. It's kind of hard to describe. But yeah, we went there, and I bought it for us, and it was like I think like 2 hours, and they do like massages, they have like saunas, they have like heat therapy, cold therapy, things like that. It was a great time. She really appreciated it. I appreciated it. It was super cool experience, and it included like an hour and a half massage, so it was legit. Like I had a blast doing it. It was really relaxing. But
It sounds fantastic. I want to take Grim to one, but I'm not sure how he's going to feel about it. He is very stressed all the time, but he has like an aversion to people touching him
yeah,
a lot. So
I had to break away from that too. It's just one of those things. You just kind of rattle. It is what it is, bro. I mean, there's really no other way to put it.
So I'm looking at you, Boogie. Don't touch him. He doesn't like it. We'll get into that a little bit deeper later. This is a cute idea. Recreate your first date. Surprise your sweetheart with a little deja vu.
That would actually be.
Have you ever done that before?
So I haven't. I thought about doing something like that, like for our like proposal. Like what I was gonna do is I was gonna go to all like the spots and from our relationship and do like a little video and kind of say, hey, like this is where our first date was, when I first saw you, this is what I thought about you, or this is the spot where I knew I loved you, and this is the spot where I first told you that I did. This is the spot where you kind of saw a different side of me that no one else really did. I thought about doing that, just to make like a little video. Then at the end of the video I was gonna get down and propose to her, but I ended up doing the Disney route because I knew that would mean a lot more to her if I did that. But that's just something I thought about doing.
You almost made me cry. Oh my goodness. Now I have to compose myself, Ken.
Yeah,
okay, so you're so sweet and you're so thoughtful, and that's what I do appreciate. I hope the male viewers out there can take note of Mr. Ken here and how much love and effort and just care he puts into his wife.
If I'll say this real quick, if any men need tips or have any questions, hit me up. I'm in the Discord, and I'll help anyone out, right? Because I the way I show my love is by gift giving. I learned that about myself, and she had a very hard time handling that. So when I think about something to do, I just think about certain other things. I kind of go a little bit different than some other people do. So yeah, I'll give advice where needed. That's all I'm saying.
Andrew C in the chat said, I see we're in the Ken glowing about his wife segment of the stream again. I joke around, but it's cute. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I think
guys.
something that... No, never say sorry. You love your wife and you have to show it.
I do. She's my best
There's
friend.
not a lot of people... Exactly. There's not a lot of people or a lot of media nowadays that really show that sort of love and care towards your significant other. You know, back in the day, it used to be like, I hate my wife jokes, I think a lot of people really appreciate the fact that you and I are both very attached to our significant others and kind of show it openly. So I think that it should be something that's really celebrated. I think you want to take over the next little segment because you say it the best.
Oh, so for those of you in the Discord, there's a guy named Joel, the tank guy. And he asked if he could put some tank facts into the docket. So he messaged them to me. I didn't copy and paste. It's on me. But there is one in here for him. So Joel, you heard it here first. I apologize, sir. I will make a better effort. But the tank fact of the day: during World War I, the British Landships Committee changed their title to keep their new vehicles secret and not so obvious. They went with water carriers and tanks. That's why tanks have so many nautical component names, such as bow, hatch, hull, and sponson. Beautiful, Joe. I hope you enjoyed that segment. That's just for you, sir.
Do you know what I gotta say to that?
What you gotta say?
Skibidi.
I can't.
You're gonna get sick of me at one point, Ken.
No, I won't. I promise. We're in it for the long haul, Beans. You're in this for the long haul. Continue.
At least you'll have coffee to deal with me. we're going to move on to Brood for Your Brain, Useless Facts, which is one of my favorite sections. So we're going to talk about capsaicin, a plant's defense mechanism. So right here, there is a clip of Billy the Fridge relays knowledge that Wings dropped on LolCow Live.
Okay.
If you can pull that up for us, sir.
I will. Oh, I'm in the wrong. In the right profile. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm a butthole.
So while you do that, I do have a degree in biology, and one of the things that I did have to look up or read, things of that nature, about capsaicin is that it's recently been used to try to combat pain. Because apparently it does affect a certain pain receptor in your body.
You can tell during LolCow Live.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like the TDLR1 or something of the sort. And yeah, people are using spice to combat pain, and I think that's really cool. There's always so many mechanisms and little pathways in your body that we don't know about or don't know what affects it, and I think that's really awesome. Let's get to the clip.
Hell yeah.
You can tell during LolCow Live that Wings was very into the spicy food stuff. He was like, "Oh, little fun fact. Little fun fact, capsaicin is what plants produce to keep humans from eating them, and humans are just stupid and eat them anyways."
Wings is smart as shit. He's smart as hell. He knows some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I like Wings.
You can tell.
So there we go. Capsaicin, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that was the most accurate Wings impersonation I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I love it.
That was legit. GG's on that one, Billy.
Let's move on to a chicken once lived for 18 months without a head. Mike the chicken's incredible feat was recorded back in the 1940s in the US. He survived with his jugular vein and most of his brainstem were left mostly intact, enduring just enough brain function to remain for survival. This is worded weird. But in the majority of cases, a headless chicken dies in a matter of minutes.
There's always the meme of the headless chicken running around. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of where that's from. But that's interesting though. Borderline zombie-esque, if you know what I'm saying. Have you seen
Last of Us?
Have you seen the video of the Chernobyl area and there's the headless moose just running around?
I've never seen a headless moose before, but that would be an interesting thing to watch later on.
I think it's edited a little bit, but it's just taking it at face value. I think that's pretty interesting.
So you know how I love just useless facts, random information. Speaking of which, there was something going around about a zombie tick disease with deer and moose.
Yep.
Moose.
Moose. Mooses.
Yeah. Musai. So yeah, there was this weird zombie disease or something going on where literally there were zombie deer and people were scared that it would transfer onto humans. And it was impeccable timing because this was when The Last of Us, I think it was a show or movie of some sort just came out. Amazing. I think what is it called? People say that life imitates art.
Yeah.
I just hope that it doesn't imitate that because I think zombies freak me out. They're slow, but they're still scary. And I don't think I can do a whole Walking Dead.
No. I mean, I'd figure it out, but that would be. I think it'd be kind of fun to do it for a day or two. Just go around pat is but after a while it'd be all right, what are we doing here? The funny part about the zombie deer is my uncles actually did not deer hunt that season, just because of the fear of it, because they love to deer hunt. They didn't do it that season just because of what was going on. So
Shoot, I wouldn't either. Well, I do know if there is a zombie outbreak, I'm going to your state and you're going to be my buddy.
Beautiful.
Grim can go find somebody else.
Bring him along. So
it's gonna slow us down, Ken. But speaking of Ken, I can't with Ken. Do you have any I can'ts you want to talk about?
So they put it in here. I can't stand when people swerve in and out of traffic and don't use their blinker. Yeah, that's really like dumb, right? Because people just, doing that. A lot of times you see like in car wreck videos, they just do that. They just smack into the wall or like head on somebody else, or they'd like lose it and like skid out. It's entertaining to watch. It's very entertaining to watch. But to be in there and just see them doing this, you're like, okay, bro, we got you. And then 9 times out of 10, you just go past them because they done like messed up and wrecked or got pulled by a cop. Or, if they keep doing it, the best is when they do it and they just keep hitting stoplights. And you go like right next to them and you just look at them and wave.
It's like we're still in the same place. We got there just at the same time. What you're doing is not helping anybody. I did want to mention, I wonder who put that in. It was me.
Hey.
I went to work. I went physically to the office for the first time in a long time. And if anybody lives in the Tampa area, Tampa's terrible. It was actually, I think, voted one of the worst areas to drive in because people don't use their blinker. People love to swerve in and out of traffic. And there is a lot of, what is it called? Angriness on the road.
Road rage.
Road rage. Exactly. See, this is why you're the best co-host.
Hey.
You know my brain.
Hey.
Have you ever experienced road rage, Ken?
I used to really badly. So one thing that I hate the most is driving with somebody in front of me.
Really?
That just annoys me to all end. Because, when you're going through, training and all that, convoy training and all that, you have to be wary of what's in front of you and all that. So one of just a little thing for me is just if people are in front of you, especially going slow, you always gotta be like, why the hell are you going so slow? There's a reason you're going so slow. So I always try and get around them. I have actually pulled over and waited for no cars to go for a couple of minutes before I started going again. True story.
Really?
True story. Yeah. Because I don't like people in front of me. Obviously, if I leave at certain times of the day, like I've gotten better about it, but for a while, I couldn't handle it. It was weird.
So actually, I have 2 little stories, road rage stories. One was from me and one was from Grim.
Okay.
So my story didn't involve me. I'm not I take that back. I do like to curse a little bit in my car when people are being stupid. But my road rage story was that I was actually, whenever I was in university, I was driving to uni, and there were these 2 men in like giant trucks, and I'm right behind one of the guys. I see them literally like trying to swerve into each other, and they're cursing, windows down, blasting their horns at each other. And I'm back here like, I don't know what to do. I shouldn't speed up. I shouldn't try to go around them because they're literally swerving on the road. I'm going to try to slow down as much as possible and create that space between us. And I'm like, okay, so I think I'm okay. I'll try to warn people like, hey, back up a little bit. Plus, a lot of people are seeing what's going on. And then all of a sudden, one of the guys rams into the other one, and they both go into a ditch. And at this point, I slow all the way down because I'm like, well, I gotta see what's going to happen. Are they both gonna get out their cars and like start fighting each other? It was so weak. I know this is a terrible thing to say because I'm doing it for my own entertainment.
It was a waste of your
so
time.
weak. It was a waste of my time because they ran into each other. They get out of their cars and they're both just like sitting there like doing nothing. Like they're not even yelling at each other. I'm like, you guys are so dumb. At least like make a show out of it, you know?
Yeah.
I did call 911. I'm like, hey, like these guys are being stupid on the road. Now they like ran into this ditch. Please go help them. Like I'm concerned. Like maybe one of them has a gun or something because you never know in Florida. The next story is Grim. Grim, we were actually in Texas and he was going to a supermarket with his friend. I know I'm yapping a lot.
I love it.
I like to yap.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk.
I like to yap. Talk time with Ken and Beans.
Wow. Wow, Beans.
Docs.
I can't. Continue.
I can't. So yeah, Grim was going to the supermarket with his friend, and there's this guy who was like in between the lines, right? Like he was in both lanes, and Grim's friend, he's a little like testy at times, you know, as some people are. Yeah, he's blaring his horn at the guy. He's like, "Get in your lane." And the guy looks at him and he lowers his window. This is Texas. You know how Texas is.
Oh, yeah.
He reaches over. And this is when Grim's friend got super scared. Like, he's like, not scared. He was like, "Oh, you're not doing this, bud." So he legit went into his side console and he went like that.
Wow.
Mind you, Grim is right here. Grim, well, it would be this way.
He's reaching across.
So, guys,
he's reaching across, Grim. Yeah.
He's reaching across Grim with a gun, pointing at this dude. Grim sitting there. Grim doesn't really like a lot of firearms. He's not that type of person.
Yeah.
So he's like this, and he's like, "Bro, if you shot, my ears would have been done at that point."
You're gone. Yep.
Thankfully, it didn't escalate any further. But yeah, you got to be careful on the road because there's always something going on, and you never know how the other person is going to react. So what I usually do, because I do have a temper, I just say, "You're stupid, you're dumb," in my car, not out loud, but I'm just like, "Look at this idiot," and I just go on with my day. Speaking of going on with our day, really quick, Karini Poo with the $5. Good morning, beautiful people. You're helping me through today.
Thank you for the love.
Work day.
Thank you for the love. We appreciate it. Always a pleasure to be entertaining for people. I know this. Some people in chat are saying things. Again, this is a different vibe than the rest of the universe. So, you know, we're chilling, you know, just chilling out, having a grand old time.
Yeah. Speaking of moving on with our day, we actually have a frittata recipe for those who don't know how what to make for breakfast today. If you want to pull that
Here's
up.
an amazing
Let's look at a frittata.
breakfast idea that just blow you away. All you need to do is whisk up some eggs, add some salt, have a whipped cream, whisk it up together, set it aside, oil a baking pan, place some chopped kale on the bottom, some cherry tomatoes, pour the egg mixture over the vegetables, and add some goat cheese and some mozzarella. Bake until the center is all set and begin. Here's an amazing...
So I understand the easiness. I'll give her that. I understand the easiness of that recipe, but she lost me with the heavy cream. I'm not a fan of milk and eggs. I've never been a fan of it. It's weird to me. I don't know. And also the vegetables and eggs. I'm a very simple egg, salt, pepper. That's it. That's done. Right.
How do you feel about goat cheese? Because I know that's a very acquired taste for some.
So here's the thing, right? Feta cheese. You have goat milk, you have sheep's milk, you have cow milk, right? I'm a fan of goat's milk feta cheese. Goat's milk is a lot sharper, and it doesn't have this weird aftertaste. In my opinion, cow's milk has that weird aftertaste. Here they call it a domestic feta. It's so weird. It's hard to describe. It's just nasty. And then obviously you have sheep's milk. Sheep's milk's a little bit creamier than goat's milk, but again, I like the sharpness of it. There's only certain brands I buy, like you have your generic, the Presidential, Athenos. I'm not a fan of those, right? They have one that's the Mount Olympus feta cheese. If it's over $10 a thing, then it's probably real. If it's $6 and under, it's not real. Just putting that out there. But this morning, or not this morning, I'm sorry, for another day, my wife wanted breakfast for dinner. So what I did was I took shredded hash browns. I put butter in a cast iron, right? Because I have a cast iron. Put butter in there, put the hash browns in there, cook those up, salt, pepper, garlic, super easy. On the side, I did beef sausage because she likes beef sausage. I like pork sausage, so I did pork sausage as well. I halved and halved it, right? With the beef sausage, you slice it down. You fry both sides to get it nice and crisp. You put it on top of the hash browns. right? Pork sausage, had it nice and crumbled, right? Put it on the opposite side, right? Then you take eggs, right? 4 or 5 eggs, do it however you want. The way I do scrambled eggs, obviously, there's the Gordon Ramsay way to do scrambled eggs with the whisk and the pot. The way I do it is I'll put butter in like a small little like not saucepan, like a small little like frying pan, very small. Mm-hmm. And then once the butter is melted, I take 3 or 4 eggs and I crack them on there and I let them sit almost like over easy or sunny side up, right? Once they cook, all the, I guess the white part of the egg all comes together. So it's like one little nice circle, right? Salt and pepper, take a little frying pan, flick it, and it flips upside down, cooks the yolk. I then take like a spoon or like a spatula, mix them all together, and I just turn it and fold it. That way the white is cooked, but the yolk is cooking with the white, right? So I just flip it. Once all that's done, separate it out, put it on top of the sausage, beef and pork, right? And then I take shredded cheese or sliced cheese. I like Gouda for like sliced cheese. I love Gouda cheese. Put Gouda on top of that in the cast iron. Throw it in the oven on broil for low. Just monitor until you see the cheese melted. Hit that thing out. You're good to go. You cut it like almost like a pizza or like sections. Just eat it. That's how I do it.
We need that cooking with Ken.
Keem did
We need that cooking with Ken.
Keem did give me the green light to post videos live of just like me cooking. So I'm thinking about making that like a members only content thing. What do you think, Beans? Should we do members only content of Ken's cooking?
I think that's a fantastic idea. I think a lot of people, especially like whenever you're talking about it in Discord, everybody's just drooling over the fact that like you post pictures or recipes and things of that nature. So just moving it over to like a area where they can watch it all the time or things of that nature, I think that would be a fantastic idea. I would definitely watch it over and over and over and over and over again.
Chat, what do you think? W's in the chat for cooking with Ken or members only content. You guys let me know. And we'll make it happen. Crazy Void, I will not be doing it shirtless. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't think your wife would appreciate that.
No,
maybe
not at
all.
If it's Valentine's
not
Day.
members only, but wife only.
Say if it's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day edition.
Hey.
But I am very particular about eggs too. My mom hates this. If she makes like a sunny side up egg, I'll only eat the yolk.
All right, so she'll only eat the yolk if there's like bread or like a pancake with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Just dip it in.
I got brought up with just bread, right? Just, bust the yolk, you take bread, you sop it up, and you eat the piece of bread. That's how I was brought up. So yeah, we got W's in the chat. So yeah, we're going to do that. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it because, I have a Pixel 9 Pro XL I can record with. It has a really good camera. I can't take the PC with me into the kitchen because I don't want nothing to happen, right? But we'll figure it out. If I got to get like another camera or something, I'll get it figured out. So.
Well, yeah, if anything happens to your PC, you can always get a new one at Meta PC using code KEEM.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Promo code KEEM and Meta PC for all your PC needs. Those are awesome people. Really awesome people, actually.
And speaking of eggs, we're going to take a crack at the world news.
So.
You like that joke, Ken?
Where's the yolk, Beans? Where is the yolk of the joke? Yolk of the joke. I just made that up. The yolk of the joke is. I'm sorry. So.
Okay, before we lose viewers, we're going to go into the American news.
Dad jokes.
So China.
My damn camera. The Elgato is coming.
Your camera hated it.
The Elgato is coming today, guys. So it is out for delivery. I confirmed it. So tomorrow should have the Elgato Facecam Pro. So we'll see how that happens. So let's get into it, Miss Beans.
Hopefully your camera does not get sick of us again and get out of focus. So China hits back at Donald Trump with tariffs on US. China has announced tariffs on a Docket team. Can you please not put so complicated words? What is that word, Ken?
China has announced tariff on a swath of U.S. imports and opened an antitrust probe into Google in retaliation against Donald Trump's new tariffs.
I know we look fancy, but we don't want to use too fancy of a word.
As they say, using $10 words in a $2 conversation.
Facts.
All right. So I shared this with Beans. Let's go over this thing. So China hits back with limited response to Trump's tariffs. Beijing has retaliated against Donald Trump's tariffs on Chinese imports with duties of its own limited their scope in a possible bid to avoid a full-blown trade war. The measures against U.S. products ranging from liquefied natural gas to cars will take effect on February the 10th and were announced on Tuesday, hours after Trump's new additional tariff of 10%. I gotta say 10% on Chinese goods came into force. So we all know the Don himself has been putting tariffs, China, Mexico, Canada, right? So obviously countries are going to fight back. If you have the same percentage tariff on each other, it's kind of counterproductive. It's like at that point, just have a conversation. But I don't know how that's really going to affect or how that will affect U.S., trade and all that, because we get a lot from China. Like we really, truly get a lot from China, from textiles all the way up to electronics. So that's something they're going to need to figure out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were hoping that Donald Trump would come into office and lower the prices of everything, because groceries, those prices are ridiculous. Goods in general, ridiculous. You can't go into a store and see anything less than $10 nowadays, which is mind-blowing to me.
It is sad.
So just seeing that we're going to get this tariff thing happening again. Plus, I think like there's a back and forth going with Donald Trump and other countries. He's like, if you don't do what I say, we're going to give you a tariff. If you're just looking at me wrong, I'm gonna give you a tariff. So I'm willing to see what's going to happen in the next coming weeks. It said February 10th, so we have 6 days until we reach that date, and hopefully we can report on how things are going to be affected.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. Last thing I'm going to say about it. Who knows or who knew how the other countries would react? Like if someone says, all right, guys, I'm putting a 50% tariff on all your stuff. A lot of these countries are not just going to bow down and say, okay, fine. Like they're going to retaliate. So I don't know what the thought process was on this. From the very beginning, all I said was, I get things are more expensive as time moves on, inflation happens. The two things that definitely need to come down is groceries and gas, because that's everyday essentials. Food is a basic necessity for life, right? We need to have good prices on foods so you can cook, provide for your family and all that. The other one is gasoline, because gasoline, people go to work, people get, powered trains, planes, and automobiles. Great movie. So that's just one of those things. Those two things need to come down, but obviously we'll see what happens.
There is also something that I just got from Dean. Breaking news, Mexico says it's going to be sending 10,000 troops to the U.S. border to help stop drug trafficking, and Trump has agreed to pause tariffs on Mexico. So again, that's another example of the tariffs that he's been placing on other countries and other places, and how they're trying to combat that.
Yep.
There was somebody else in the YouTube chat, I think it was Blessed AF, they said, I can't leave the house without at least spending $100. It's wild.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like, it's so dumb, but one thing I will say is if the Mexico president and Donald Trump, they're talking, they're negotiating, and, if Mexico is willing to send 10,000 of their troops to help fight drug trafficking and coming and all that, I guess Donald Trump's saying, all right, you help me, I'll help you. and the tariffs are gone, so I don't know. It's all about, I hate to say this, being political and like working together. There has to be some meeting in the middle. One country should not be able to go to the other country and saying, hey, let's compare sizes. All right, mine's bigger. This is what you're going to do for me. That shouldn't happen. So this is kind of where we're at. And thankfully, Mexico's playing ball with the U.S. Hopefully they can come together and make something happen for, the incoming of drugs into the United States, the criminals in the United States. You help me, I help you. We all win.
Exactly. I did see somebody say that's a really cute Hello Kitty cup. Yeah, I got this Hello Kitty cup actually at the Hello Kitty Cafe. It's like a mobile store, mobile pastry place. They go to different malls and things of the sort. And yeah, my friend gave me this when I was about 16, so I've had it for a while now.
Nice.
Next, we're going to go into air traffic control
James,
staffing.
Look at my cute cup. Isn't it cute? Isn't this cup cute?
I'm going to have to give you a new cup, Ken. We can't have this boring cup.
It's my old man cup, Wings. It's my old man cup. Leave me alone. I love my old man cup. You can't take it away from me. Ooh, it matches my shirt. Didn't even realize that.
I mean, hopefully, soon, we can have some Locale Cafe cup merch.
Better be this size. Vulgar Unicorn, welcome to Ban World. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the support, guys.
You have one cup fan in the chat. Calico said Ken's cup slaps.
I love it.
So moving on. So air traffic control staffing not normal during DC crash. So the air traffic control staffing was not normal at the time of a mid-air collision between a military helicopter and a passenger plane in Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people. Transportation Secretary Sheen Duffy has acknowledged. So we're going to pull up that clip right now.
Oh, yeah, there's no clip. It's just a website. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. So yeah, there's been a lot of crashes involving airplanes, helicopters, things of that nature. There has been much debate on the topic itself. We'll move on to 2 airport authority workers arrested for allegedly leaking DC plane crash video to CNN. So the summary is 2 employees of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, the MWAA, have been arrested for allegedly leaking surveillance footage of last week's fatal mid-air collision near the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport to CNN. The incident, which has occurred on January 29th, involved a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines passenger jet, resulting in the deaths of all 67 individuals on both aircraft.
Yeah, that's sad, man. Because it's such a rarity for that to happen. And they always say air travel is the safest way to travel. I mean, still, the sad fact is, even with all these deaths, it still doesn't equate to automotive travel. If you look at the automotive fatalities every year, this is technically still the safest way. And just, when I rode in military aircraft, just, again, the checks and balances they do, talking to tower and, all that, making sure they're cleared to go, especially when leaving a civilian airport. I just don't understand how this could happen. Because this was, I got out in 2018, so we're talking 7 years ago I got out. Mm-hmm. And this was before, so you're talking 10 plus years ago. And technology only gets better. And then we're still having this. I don't get it. I really don't.
So it says here the reasons why this is an issue. So it's a breach of security protocols. Surveillance footage from airports is considered restricted and sensitive, often governed by strict policies to prevent unauthorized release, which is kind of like a duh. You don't want to release confidential information to the public, especially without going through the proper line of authority. 2, it is legal violations. So they were charged with computer trespass, meaning they accessed, copied, and distributed footage without proper authorization. Number 3, interference with investigations. The crash is under federal investigation. Leaking evidence before authorities can analyze it properly could complicate the case or even prejudice, public opinion, making it harder to determine what really happened. So that is a really good point that they listed there, because kind of with very serious cases when it comes to endangerment of young children, some people like to meddle because they think that they can help out in some sort of way, but sometimes they endanger the case itself. So some people like to go out there and kind of bait these dangerous individuals into coming to them, and they'll expose them to the world, right? Yep. But without proper help from the authorities, sometimes you can endanger the case altogether and get it thrown out. So this could mean big things when it comes to the investigation of the crash.
Yeah. So real quick, so the Vulgar Unicorn is stating they were missing a crew chief. So I know in a Black Hawk, right, you have your two pilots and you have your dudes that sit behind them with windows, or not really windows, but openings that go outward. So that's where you have your gunmen at if you're in theater, that they call it in theater. If not, then if you're not in theater, obviously you don't have the guns in there. You're just being the crew chief, like Vulgar Unicorn said. So that, yeah, I don't know, man. That's also a big no-no in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. And the Luke Meister, I was in the Army, sir. I did 7 years active duty. Then I did 4 years active duty, 7 years full-time National Guard. So as full-time National Guard, I was a federal employee, all that jazz. And then January 2nd, 2018, I got my discharge order because I ended up with degenerative neck disease, and that's why I got put out. So there you go.
I do see video games in the YouTube chat saying the question then becomes, if it wasn't leaked, how long would it have taken for families to see the video after civil litigation or right away? I understand where you're coming from, video games, when it comes to wanting to know exactly what happened, how it happened, but sometimes it's best for families to not see actual footage of their loved ones being in that state, you know? For example, there was an occurrence that happened in Orlando, kind of nearby, of a young gentleman who went on a ride. You know those drop down rides? It goes all the way up, yep, and then it just drops down?
Yeah.
So this young individual, I guess he was not fit to be on this ride. He was a little bit plumper than all the other kids, and he didn't secure his, the little thing that goes over you.
The harness.
He didn't secure the harness all the way. It went up. It went down really fast, and he actually fell out of that ride and landed splat on the ground. Somebody took a video of that and posted it all over the internet. It was a horrible thing for his family to see.
Yeah.
And it was just coming up on their feed over and over again. Thankfully, they did close down the amusement park that this was happening at, because they did not follow regulations. Mm-hmm. And I believe the mother did get a big sum of money for, emotional damages to cover the funeral costs and everything of that nature. So going back to the topic at hand, sometimes it's not the best thing to see those types of videos. And I think the problem with this specifically is that it was security footage of what happened at the airport itself. I'm sure there's lots of footage of what happened by civilians or from other cameras, but once it's the airport itself and their security footage, there is a whole bunch of red tape that goes along with it.
The other thing I was going to say to that is, when Kobe Bryant tragically passed away, his wife Vanessa saw it on TMZ. TMZ had the video, and that's literally how she found out. I know people in free media and all that stuff is out there, but sometimes you need to let the proper channels do what they need to do to notify the families. I know you want your ratings, I know you want your numbers, but you have to have some sort of compassion for the families of victims before doing stuff like that. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
So video games actually chimed in again. I want to make sure that I'm getting their point across exactly the way that they're trying to get their point across. I'm speaking about only litigation. If the families decide to sue, they should have the information right away. The FOIA is law. The airlines or government can hide the video, damaging the victim's case. I believe, or I try to stay positive and think that if they're doing an investigation, they'll do a very thorough investigation, and they'll always let the families know what's going on. I know that some people believe that they're going to restrict some information because it is an airline. They could get sued and things of that nature. But remember, it's the government that's stepping up now, not the airline itself.
Yep.
So I just like to stay positive. I know that toxic positivity can be a thing. Lean on Me chimes in. Leaks can also be very detrimental in one's mental health when a tragedy occurs. So,
yeah,
terrible thing. I hope the families can heal from this. Oh, what were you gonna say, Ken?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, it's just tragic whenever something like this does happen. And, like I said before, the proper channels need to do what they need to do to notify the family before videos are made public. Because a lot of times once things get in the court of public opinion, it can hurt the actual court case. So just putting that out there.
Oh goodness, our Docket team is really on top of it. We have 24 pages just in world news, so we're gonna have to pick and choose.
Yep. Let's do the
we think is best.
I'm gonna do the Trump and Netanyahu because I think that's important. So Trump and Netanyahu are set for pivotal talks. RKO Glorious upgraded to cash cow. We appreciate you, RKO. Thank you for the support on that one. So President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu were scheduled. Why is my camera? It knows the Elgato's coming. That's why my camera hates me right now. I apologize, chat. So Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu were set to discuss things going on in the Middle East right now. The Gaza ceasefire. The leaders will evaluate the fragile ceasefire in Gaza, which began on January 19th and is intended to last for 42 days. Discussions will focus on the progress of the truce, the release of remaining hostages, and the potential for a permanent peace agreement. So the Gaza Strip has been just war-torn for I don't know how long. It's, Israel and Palestine are constantly fighting over territorial control over certain areas over there. So, we all want peace in the Middle East, 100%. But, sometimes things just don't happen. It's sad, but it's just the truth. Iran's nuclear program. So both the leaders are expected to strategize over countering Iran's nuclear ambitions, a shared concern for the USA and Israel. Netanyahu aims to secure a more assertive U.S. stance against Iran, especially in the light of recent military developments. Now, nuclear weaponry is something that is very scary. We all saw what happened with the Cold War. It was literally a war of threats, saying, hey, I got this. Well, I got that. Well, I got this. Well, I got these too. It's one of those where, the Soviet Union, Video Games gifted 5 members. We appreciate you, Video Games. Thank you, sir. The Soviet Union, being what they were, the communist, and America, anti-communist, being, a democracy. It's
real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. I see that gifted members are actually working now. So that's fantastic. And I also wanted to make a shout out to RKO Glorious, who upgraded their membership to Cash Cow.
We appreciate you. Green card for $2. They need me in that room. I'll solve all of this. Yeah, well, the Geneva Convention has a purpose. Sometimes it would be easier if it wasn't around, but America has to be the bigger person, and we're going to leave it at that. So yeah, nuclear weapons, that's always going to be a constant threat, especially right now with Kim Jong-un in North Korea doing what he does with the missile testing. Ooh, someone else gifted 5 members. You broke down, who was that? Smoking Home Brewing. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you for gifting those 5 members. That is beautiful. Y'all keep interrupting me with the donos. So,
And it's such an important topic too.
I know, right? So, long story short, we're going to see what happens with this. If everyone shot their nukes at the same time, the Earth is gone. And if the Earth,
God, please no.
if the Earth isn't gone, welcome to real life fallout. You know what I mean? So, and then last but not least, the Israel-Saudi Arabia relations, which is interesting to me, and I'll say this. The potential normalization of relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia will be a significant point of discussion. While President Trump is keen on facilitating this rapprochement, challenges persist, particularly due to Netanyahu's firm stance against the establishment of a Palestinian state. So, what's really cool, well, I don't know if cool is the right word. What's really interesting is Saudi Arabia has kind of opened up a lot in the last few years. The thing that has happened a lot is sports. You have the WWE doing Crown Jewel pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. You have, a lot of boxing matches are happening in Saudi Arabia. There's reasons for that because there's a whole lot less red tape in Saudi Arabia than it is, say, in America or like in the UK. For RKO gifted 1 membership. We appreciate you, RKO. Thank you, sir.
Remember, guys, if you do get gifted a membership, try to thank whoever gave you that membership, because these people are just trying to support us, and we do appreciate very much. Continue, Ken.
No, you're fine. So, leave it to sports to open up, agreements, talks, relationships with other countries. You know what I mean? It's pretty much a cool thing. Sportsmanship, right, guys? So, with the U.S. and Saudi Arabia's relationship getting a lot better, obviously doing a lot of agreements back and forth with billion-dollar American companies, Trump going into that has to look at, I guess the economics of what the U.S. businesses are getting, because that's what he's all about. Now, as far as Netanyahu goes, he could probably care less about Saudi Arabia. When I say care less, he doesn't want a Palestinian state, obviously, because Israel feels they're entitled to that land, and Palestine feels they are as well, hence the war. So it'll be interesting to see how Trump plays this and how those conversations go. I know that was a lot, guys. I apologize, but just trying to put the big picture on really what all this affects, because there's a lot that this affects, if we're being honest.
Well, to be honest, we're just scratching the surface when it comes to this war and these back and forths that we're having with these areas. So I do appreciate you going more in depth, because, like myself, there have been many people who are like, what's your opinion on this? And I'm like, I don't want to give my opinion if I'm not well informed enough.
Yeah.
Because you can always say the wrong thing, you could lose a friend, or you could just say the wrong thing and misinform somebody else. And that's something that I completely want to avoid, especially in this day and age.
Nobody gifted 5 members. Sorry, my bad.
Ooh.
Nobody.
You're fine. Nobody? I thought he was somebody. So we're going to go into El Salvador agrees to accept U.S. deportees of any nationality, including American criminals. That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
So the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says it is the most unprecedented, extraordinary immigratory agreement anywhere in the world. So let's take a look at that. Do you want to go into that first little paragraph, Ken? I can barely read it.
Yes, ma'am. I got you. The U.S. Secretary of State says El Salvador has agreed to accept U.S. deportees of any nationality, as well as violent American criminals currently behind bars in their own country. On a visit to El Salvador, Marco Rubio said President Nayib Bukele had agreed to the most unprecedented, extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world. He added, he also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentence in the United States, even though they're U.S. citizens or legal residents. El Salvador is in effect being used as a safe third country. That is that's interesting. Adonis,
That
welcome
is
to Cash Cow.
interesting.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much, Donis. I did want to mention that the Vulgar Unicorn is in our chat saying disabled combat vet listening. I do appreciate all of our vets. Ken is a vet. Nate, who we used to work with and we hold very dear because he is our first pay pig,
Yeah.
is also a vet.
We love
I
you,
used to
Nate.
work with a lot of vets. We adore you, Nate. I wish he would come by a little bit more, but I used to work with a lot of vets whenever I was student government president at one of my old universities. So I hold the vets very near and dear to my heart, and I do appreciate everything that you guys do. But going into this story, I find this very interesting that El Salvador agrees to accept like everybody, any nationality. I think this might be going off of what happened to Colombia last week. I think it was last week or somewhere in the beginning of this week. Maybe the whole tariff thing might be working, where now they're just like, okay, you can bring the people over here, but don't give us any tariffs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like, you're willing to take the worst of the worst. Come to my country. We love you. We'll make you beautiful. I don't know, man. Like, again, I think there's some stuff going on that we'll never know as to why that they're willing to do this. But, you know, if they're willing to help us out, what are we doing to help them out? That is the question. But more to come on that, I'm sure.
The good thing is that we have Mr. President Loose Lips. Eventually, he's going to talk about it, right? He loves talking about himself, what he's doing for our country. So, eventually, I think he's going to let us know why, when, who, what, where, when, why, all that, according to this.
I will say, though, I am kind of glad he is like that, because he says the American people deserve to know, kind of like with the whole drone thing.
Mm-hmm.
He is very much about America knowing what's going on. So I'll give him that. You got to give him that.
I do want to apologize to our viewers. There is a lot of Trump news, but legitimately that's like the only thing on the news nowadays, especially because it's the first month or so of him being in office.
Yep.
We're going to go into Trump and leaders of Canada and Mexico say tariffs will be delayed 1 month after talks. So the days after announcing the 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, President Donald Trump agreed to delay them for 1 month after leaders from Canada and Mexico announced moves to ramp up security at their borders. This averting at least for now tariffs that could have driven up prices for the US consumers and stalled the country's economies. I see that you have that pulled up.
This is the Prime Minister's post on X after his call with President Trump. So Mr. Justin said, I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel. Enhanced coordination with our American partners and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appointment a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. So the one thing I will say is, Trump even did say, if these countries aren't willing to play ball, then I'm a tariff for them. And tariff is the most beautiful word in the English language. He said that, quote. But I say beautiful more than you, President Trump. Stay in line, bro. Just
We
kidding.
still need that counter.
But nah, so go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, could you also pull up the President Donald J. Trump posted the following written statement via Truth Social. I've been hearing a lot about this Truth Social, but I don't know much about it. Could you speak upon that if you know anything?
I'll be honest with you, I don't either. We can check it out though. Well, next show we'll have more on Truth Social, guys. This is my first time ever hearing about it. So Donald J. Trump with the American flag. That's a badass, picture. But anyways, Canada has agreed to ensure we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans while destroying their families and communities all across our country. Canada will implement the $1.3 border plan. As for the Prime Minister, we'll be reinforcing the border with new choppers. So it's a lot of copy and paste. Literally what it is copy and paste.
Interesting.
Because he put quotes literally from Justin's tweet into this. He said it, or finished it off by saying, as president, it is my responsibility to ensure the safety of all Americans, and I am doing just that. I am pleased with this initial outcome, and the tariffs announced Saturday will be paused for a 30-day period to see whether or not a final economic deal with Canada can be structured. Fairness for all. So one thing I'll give him is, obviously he announces his tariff plans and he does it in the way he does it, publicly. So what I think he's doing is he's saying it's going to happen. He's giving the country so many days to respond. Once they respond, negotiations happen. And if they can come to an agreement, he'll pause tariffs for a certain amount of days. And then we have it. So I hate to say this, it's more than Biden did for a while, or for 4 years, because that dude really wasn't doing a lot, but that's neither here nor there.
So this is why I love our viewers and I love the Discord, because we have Nasty Nate 6906 in the Discord. I believe they're new. They said at Beans, Truth Social is a social media app Trump created after he got banned on Twitter, or as we now know as X. So that is amazing. Thank you for letting us know. I never knew that.
I didn't.
I think I was.
That's awesome.
Whenever all that stuff started popping off about Twitter and X and things of that nature, I think I kind of stepped back a little bit because it was getting a little toxic. So now it makes more sense that he created a social media-esque site that's called Truth Social.
Yeah.
Which could be misleading, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah. So for the chat, I'm putting the link in the chat as soon as this wants to work. If you want to check it out, obviously the way I am as a person, I like to hear both sides because, Democrats report it differently than Republicans and vice versa. So normally when you hear the two sides, you can hear what's really going on and kind of put it in the middle a little bit. So if you guys want to check that out, by all means, and, let us know what you think in a later episode. What do you think about this?
I do believe that we speak a lot about Donald Trump and America, but now we have this new section thanks to our very dedicated and amazing Docket team. We have now international news. So right here we have pro-Russia, I'm terrible today with words. Could you take over, Ken?
All right. So which one are you talking about? Russia?
Yeah, so international news, it says pro-Russia paramilitary leader, now I got it, from Ukraine assassinated in Moscow. So the summary is a pro-Russian paramilitary leader from Ukraine was reportedly assassinated in Moscow, highlighting the ongoing tensions in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Details on the identity and circumstances of the assassination are limited, but the incident underscores the volatile nature of the situation. Investigations are likely underway. So we will be following that. That is very interesting. I do believe that with everything happening in other parts of the world, the Russia-Ukraine has been talked about a little bit less. So we're going to follow that. Apparently there are at least 19 decomposing bodies discovered on a boat drifting near the Eastern Caribbean nation. I've heard nothing about this so far. So authorities have discovered at least 19 decomposing bodies on a boat drifting near the Eastern Caribbean nation. The boat was found adrift and it appears the individuals may have died under tragic circumstances. Tragic circumstances, that's interesting, but they're not really going very into depth here. Investigations are ongoing and determine are ongoing to determine the identities of the victims and the cause of their deaths. This discovery raises concerns about potential human trafficking or other illegal activities in the region.
That is weird.
Very interesting. That is very interesting and very weird.
There's actually a lot of like YouTube videos and stories about women that go on cruises and they end up getting kidnapped. And a lot of times they figure out a lot of these employees for these cruise lines are in bed with some really bad people. So when they get to certain ports, or if you're on the ship for so many days without hitting land or whatever, they can somehow organize a way to do what they need to do, which is kind of sad. I don't do cruises. I hate boats. I just don't like the idea of being confined. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. But real quick, hot sauce with the $1.99. Talk about something besides Trump. So Trump is.
We were ahead of you there.
Yep. Appreciate the donation. Yeah. So right now, Trump is in all the world news because of what's going on, and the whole idea is to keeping the audience informed. So that's all this is. But we are moving on. We appreciate the donation. Thank you very much on that one.
I was just going to make a little joke. I was going to say we're in the same boat on that one. I do not like confined spaces. We already talked about El Salvador taking the U.S. criminals.
Yep.
We'll go into science, one of my favorite topics. So apparently there's a planetary alignment, how to see 6 planets lined up in the night sky and glimpse a rare 7-planet parade in February. That sounds interesting. Summary here states, the night sky will offer stargazers a special sight for the next several weeks. Right now, all planets except Mercury can be seen after sundown. Then in late February, the missing planet will join the lineup. So it's literally like a planetary parade. I'm very excited to see that. While the planets technically always appear along the same rough line in our sky, the fact that so many can be seen at once is noteworthy, according to NASA. So 6 planets are currently located above the horizon after dark. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are all visible to the naked eye, which is very interesting. Usually you'll need a telescope or binoculars to see that. It does state here you will need a telescope or binoculars to see Uranus and Neptune, the most distant planets. Then, with the addition of Mercury around the 28th of this month, all 7 other planets will be together in the night sky. So that is very interesting.
That is pretty. That's pretty badass, actually. I like that.
I think that could be another very cute Valentine Day sort of date, looking up at the sky and seeing everything lined up. Exactly. Everything lined up just like your relationship. Everything is in place the way that it should be.
Just want to say our good friend Nate is in chat. All horoscopes are lies. I know it's a Gemini. Appreciate you, Nate. Thank you for coming in. And yes, the Uranus jokes are coming in. Let's see them pour in chat. Go ahead. Oh man. Know what would be really cute? Is if you had like a little pocket telescope. And you look at your partner saying, "Ooh, the shining star of them all," or something. Just make a little cute thing. That thing would be really cute. Something I always.
Now we're getting corny, Ken.
Oh yeah. Whenever I see my wife, I'm always like, "Hey, gorgeous, how you doing?" Like I always call her gorgeous, and she's like, "Stop." It's cute.
You guys are too cute. You guys are so sweet. You're gonna give me diabetes.
My bad.
So next we're going to go into another NASA-related sort of story. So NASA has spotted an asteroid with about 1% chance of hitting Earth. Well, that ramps up my anxiety for today. So summary, NASA has spotted an asteroid with a 1% chance of hitting Earth as it passes by us in 2032. Okay, delayed anxiety. Let me correct that. It's going to give me delayed anxiety now. But the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, that's a very specific center, if I could say the least, says we are not worried at all because of this 99% chance it will miss. But it deserves attention. At least they're trying to keep us informed, and that's all that matters. Maybe the Space Force was actually made for something.
So, as they say, as people hit the lottery and what are the chances hitting the lottery, right? So, you know, normally if it was a bet of like 1 in 100 odds, I'll take that bet. Why not?
That's
But,
true.
you know, we'll see
So
what happens.
exactly. So before we go into Sip and Smile, which is more positive news, I do want to go into breaking news, which is things that happen maybe in less than 10 hours or while we're doing the show. So in breaking news, apparently there was something between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They want to shut down the USAID.
Yep.
This was actually given to me by Nate himself, or Thal, as he's known as in the chat. So he stated that this section of the Title 5, Chapter 9, allowed the president to eliminate, consolidate, transfer, and rename executive agencies working outside of the legislative process, limited by only a one-house congressional veto. The president can shut down an agency, but Congress can also veto him doing so.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a quick YouTube clip
The headquarters.
we can play. Nice little 3-minute one. Let's see what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that jazz music in the background? Nice and chill. Let me crank it up real quick for everybody. Can't see me dancing. The slow motion, guys. It's beautiful. I love it, Beans. This is awesome music. Shout out Brandon, baby. Shout out Brandon. This is beautiful, sir. Sorry. I digress, guys. I digress. I'm sorry. Let me put that down. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I apologize.
Headquarters of the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, was closed to personnel on Monday, sending shockwaves around the world.
USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
The closure came after Elon Musk moved to exert control over the foreign aid organization. And now Secretary of State Marco Rubio is claiming to be in charge.
I'm the acting director of USAID. I've delegated that authority to someone, but I stay in touch with him.
But
Seek is right. No copyright strikes. Sorry, guys. Nate, don't send me news clips anymore. I apologize. I can handle it on the back end if I need to.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fine as long as you keep it under like a certain amount and we make it transformative, I think, but I'm not completely sure. Gino knows more about that.
We'll
and
figure that out
I'm happy
later.
to have Gino on our
Sorry, guys.
Exactly. So what does the USAID do? So I have here reduce poverty, improve global health, support disaster relief efforts, promote democracy and human rights, enhancing education and economic growth, and strengthening food security. How does the USAID operate? So it funds and implements developmental programs in over 100 countries, works with local governments, NGOs, and international partners, provides emergency relief in crises such as natural disasters, war and famine, and supports long-term projects like infrastructure development, agriculture, and technology. So some argue, just to give a little bit of both sides, so some argue that it advances U.S. political interest rather than focusing purely on aid, ties aid to conditions that benefit the U.S. companies or policies, and has mixed results in some programs due to corruption or inefficiency.
That's the thing with the government, right? There's always going to be some sort of spillage on money. Corruption. There's just way too many people involved for corruption. I know the military wastes a lot of money. I'm not going to go into how or why, but I've seen it. That's all I'm going to say. But I thought that was the whole reason to create the Department of Government Efficiency. I guess this is what they want to do now, destroy USAID programs. Pros and cons to everything, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yes, sir. I see Twisted Puppet. Happy birthday, Twisted Puppet. They said there's been allegations that the money isn't actually going to where it's supposed to. again, a lot of corruption. Sometimes there is a lack of organization in these sort of things. So that is something to take note of. Something else that is in breaking news is 5 people shot on Swedish school campus as police say danger is not over. If you would like to pull that up.
Yes, ma'am. So there's a news clip. There's a news
Continue,
clip.
sorry.
You're good. There's a news clip, guys. But again, before I figure out copyright strikes and all that, I'm not trying to kill the channel, but we can definitely read. As of 12 minutes ago, 6 people at the local hospital. The number of people hospitalized following the shooting has gone up to 6. 5 of them have gunshot wounds, and of those, 4 have undergone surgery. The 5th and 6th are considered to have minor injuries. It adds that the Obrero University Hospital beds is offering more hospital beds or treatment if needed. This just in 1 minute ago. No children among those hospitalized. No more now from the Obrero Regional Authority, which says no children are among those who are currently at Obrero University Hospital. So I hate to say this, but at least if this happened, at least no children. But it's still sad that it did happen. So, people ran away. People run away when they heard gunshots trying to escape. So, this is a cool website. BBC World News. They update as stuff comes in. You can literally see them typing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. A lot of people are in chat right now, just flabbergasted because you don't really hear a lot about gun violence in other countries. You hear a lot of stabbings. That's really, I don't want to say popular because it's such a negative thing to say, but yeah, you mostly hear about stabbings in like the UK and in other countries, but you don't really hear about gun violence. So hearing that in Sweden is really something.
I didn't think guns were legal in Sweden. Like, I know that's very ignorant of me, and I'm sorry, but Sweden is considered like not really
one of the most peaceful
yeah,
places.
Like, not a lot happens in Sweden as far as, like, you know, violent crime, you know, so that's wild. Like, well, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, those three countries, right, that are together, you really don't hear about a lot of violence coming out of them. So that's definitely interesting.
Well, as you know, in Canada, guns are illegal there. But I always say, if somebody really wants to do something, they'll find a way. And that's why in Canada, one of the biggest things that was going on was 3D printed guns.
Yeah.
Even though they're illegal, people will find a way to make them, distribute them, or anything of that nature. So I think that nowhere is safe. Even though America is number one when it comes to gun violence, nowhere is safe if somebody is going to do something. Chanri, one of my favorite Swedes in the Discord, actually chimed in. Chanri said guns aren't allowed, but there has been talk a lot about gang members or people smuggling guns inside of Sweden. So that is very interesting.
That is. One thing I will say is, you know, we're all American. We all have our Second Amendment rights, unless you're a felon and all that other stuff. But when people try to stop responsible citizens from having guns and ways to defend themselves, especially their homes, when criminals have it and someone doesn't have the ability to protect their family and their home, a lot of bad things are going to happen, because no matter what laws say, criminals will find a way to get what they want and do what they want. So it's in the best interest to allow responsible people to own weaponry in order to defend themselves. Now, when I see, like, you know, the dude walking around Walmart with a damn piece on his side and some tank top with the Confederate flag on, obviously I'm like, all right, bro, like, calm down, Billy Big Dick, you know what I mean? But people that just want to protect their families and their homes, they should be allowed to do that. So I know I ranted a little bit, sorry, but that's another Ken Kaint session, because, you know, anybody is a badass with a gun on their hip, you know, but, you know, people don't throw hands anymore. People don't want to fight anymore, you know, and it's like, you know, anybody can pull out a gun and shoot somebody. That doesn't make you a man. You know, being a man is, you know, fighting for what you believe in, standing up, and, you know, not taking the easy way out. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Continue.
that makes sense. I do apologize. No, you're all good.
No, my rant. I apologize.
I love you ranting. The only thing is that like my real life job started texting me about a whole bunch of Excel sheets and things of that nature, which I do not want to deal with right now. So
Let me address real quick.
let's move on.
Doja Ken shops at Walmart. I do not shop at Walmart. What I'm saying is, if I have to go there with somebody that needs to pick something up, because sometimes you're the only people that have something that we need to do a quick pickup. You see things. And if people remember the peopleofwalmart.com website, there's a reason People of Walmart exist, and we'll leave it at that.
People of Walmart is going to be in the next I Can't with Ken.
Hey.
So let's move on to some more positive news, the sip and smile section.
Hey.
So there is a 10-year-old deaf girl is blown away with new Caption glasses that let her see spoken words. That is very interesting. I believe technology is coming very far in helping out a new age of people. So let's see here.
Play the video real quick.
I've been waiting here for the technology incredible part. You don't hear you glasses live caption sound. So that language can hear.
Yo, that is wild.
Work. You can see the words I'm saying. That's amazing. In my closet.
That is super cool, man. Like, there's just things that we take for granted. The senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling. Not always smelling, but you know what I mean, touching and all that. And for someone that just, lives their life without a certain sense, but they have the ability to get it and to help them just live better lives and to assist them, it's awesome. And as Greek Girl said, it is freaking beautiful that they're able to do that. It's very touching because, we take for granted things that we have. So it's awesome to see. It really is.
Exactly. I started tearing up a little bit because you can truly feel through the screen her emotions and how happy she is. And she's been waiting so long for something like this.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how technology can help these people. So here it says that the Caption glasses developed by HearView connect via Bluetooth to an app that uses voice recognition technology to transcribe spoken words onto a tiny screen embedded inside the lenses. Not only do they allow, I think her name is Kendall, to follow conversations more easily, but they also help her practice speaking by testing whether her own words appear correctly on the screen.
That's awesome. You know what I mean?
That is awesome.
Donut Lord with the $1.99, just getting off work. Hope y'all had a good show. We definitely did have a good show, bro. We appreciate the help, the donation, and the love y'all give. Always appreciated.
Next we'll go into 100-year-old piano prodigy is the last surviving pupil of Rachmaninoff.
Rachmaninoff.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. She even dropped an album at the age of 97.
Yeah, that's wild.
I see that you're pulling up the clip.
Oh no, this is just.
Is it a clip or is it a website?
It's a website, just showing everybody. So this is what she looks like, at her piano. I'm telling you, technology and just, health, medicine, and all that. People are gonna live to be 100, and it's gonna be, a normal thing now. Thought with the 5. I'm wondering, since the glasses use the green Fallout type style, does that mean she gets VATS now? I can't.
I can't.
I can't, bro.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, that.
I think Thal is gonna have to go on Nerds. Is Nerds going on today, by the way?
So last I heard, they were not They were verified, but not partnered yet. And they actually partnered this channel without a video, but some channels they have to have at least a video before they're partnered. I don't know what happened here, but whatever. We were able to make it happen without doing all that. Do a first stream, so hopefully you guys checked out their trailer yesterday. I think it was like a 30-40 minute clip of what to expect. So, hopefully you guys like it if you're into that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, this 100-year-old piano prodigy, she dropped an album at 97 years of age. That's really inspiring because a lot of people, they get very discouraged whenever they're young like me, or I like to consider myself young. They're young like me and they haven't really accomplished anything in life, or at least they feel like they haven't accomplished anything in life. But there is no cap to accomplishments. There's no cap to learning. There's no cap to being a better person every single day. So I think this is very inspiring, a 97-year-old dropping an album.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to do in the years ahead, right? So
my camera
amazing.
knows it's getting thrown away. That's why it's messing up on me the most today. I'm sorry, camera. I'm sorry. You're getting replaced. Whatever, bro.
So, conversation topics about this. Do you play any instruments, Ken?
I used to.
Really? What did you play?
I played the clarinet. I played the bass clarinet, basically the same thing. And then I played the alto saxophone. This
is very fitting.
Yeah. So when I went into high school in 9th grade, I picked up the saxophone and I ended up getting into the jazz band. As I was, coming of age, figured out what my interests were. That lasted like a year. And I went to the wrestling team and I became a wrestler. Mm-hmm. And, I tried out for the basketball team, and I was a senior when I tried out for the basketball team, and I wanted to play power forward because I feel like Anthony Davis, that was a good position for me. Obviously, if I was in the NBA now, I'd be a shooting guard at best because I'm only 6'5". But, the coach said that since you're just coming in here as a senior, you'd want to go for varsity, and the current guy that was starting had played basketball for all 4 years. I was like, well, coach, let me play him one-on-one. I destroyed that dude. He was garbage. And he's like, look, I'm sorry, you'd have to play on the bench. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I just wrestled. So.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I love basketball. That's always been my sport.
You're both a band nerd and a jock. Very interesting dynamic you have there, Ken. So I used to play some instruments when I was younger. I don't know if people saw me on tests yesterday. I did like a Colleen Ballinger kind of bit. I had like my little ukulele, and I said, I'm here to apologize for doing such a terrible job on Locale Cafe today. Just a bit, just joking.
Yeah.
So I used to play the ukulele, and then in middle school I don't think I played it in high school, but in middle school definitely, I played the viola.
Interesting.
I don't want to hear any viola jokes in chat, by the way. Violas are better than violins.
Beautiful. What's that instrument? I don't know if you ever seen American Horror Story, Coven with the witches.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Jono87 with the 5 British pounds. Glasses were cool, but bet they are a nightmare down the pub. Hearing aid tech is really crappy for the day and age we live in. I get it.
That's a very good point.
That's the other thing.
Like everybody talking at the same time.
Yeah, and like accents, right? Like how would it pick up accents? You know what I mean? It's a little different. And Twisted Puppet said violas are just bigger.
They're bigger than violins. They're a deeper tone than violins. They're more similar to cellos, but just downsized. The reason why I like violas more than violins is controversial take. I used to think violins were annoying, especially when you reach like the higher notes. My ears are very sensitive to a lot of things, so hearing those high notes kind of like really gets in there. And I'm a very, how do I put this in not in a weird way?
I can't.
I was gonna say sensual, or like I'm a very emotional person, and I believe like those deep tones and like the underlying kind of melody or like harmony part of music is very touching, and that's what kind of gravitated me towards the viola instead of the violin. Violin might get the spotlight most of the time, but I believe that the viola has very rich tones and can kind of drive emotion through a little bit harder, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. I love
You
classical
just didn't
music.
want to play the world's smallest violin. Let's just be honest. You wanted to make sure that you didn't have no sad didn't say it, sad things going on. Guys, I think I'm doing awesome not cussing. You know what I mean? I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Like I wouldn't slip.
The imaginary swear jar is kind of an incentive, if you can say the least.
Oh yeah, you know, I got yelled at enough for the first episode. I guess people were actually listening to this in front of others, and they're like, "Stop cussing." I'm like, "All right, sorry." But you know, I get it though. You know, wanted the smoother, deeper for the melody and all that, the feeling, because music brings out emotions in people, and that's one thing I never understood about music. Right? Why when you're sad and depressed, you wanted to listen to sad and depressing music? You want to listen to something uplifting. You wanted to listen to something that has like a high beat, like 70s disco music. If you're ever in a sad mood, put on some like Kool and the Gang. You know what I mean? Put on some Donna Summers. You know what I mean? Put on some. Oh my God, I can't think of the name.
Be very careful, Ken.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Look up 70s disco music and put that on if you're sad. You'll feel happy after that, I promise you. That's the one thing, you know, like the great debate over like, you know, your Linkin Parks, your Sublimes, your Blink 182s, your Creeds. That's not rock and roll in my opinion. Rock and roll is like your Ozzy Osbourne, your Led Zeppelins, your Judas Priests, your Queen. Those are polar opposites and put in the same genre. I do not like that.
Everybody's chiming in. Everybody's like Rick James, the Bee Gees.
Yes, that's all. Ken over here racking ABBA, bro. What's that? Dancing Queen? That's my shit, bro. See, Thal, you made me cuss, bro. You're putting in the cuss jar today. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of which, whenever I'm in kind of like, I don't want to say a bad mood, but I'm not as energetic or as happy as I would like to be, I always blast September. That is my go-to.
Remember when it was September? I can't.
We got a show to do, Ken. We can't be jamming.
Sorry. You're freezing.
I love
beans.
viola.
Beans are freezing.
Oh, you're freezing.
I'm freezing.
Me? Ooh. We boogied too hard.
The stream is buffering randomly.
That's weird. Well, going into that, music taste is very interesting because usually you think that like screamo people are just angry, volatile, crazy people. But usually people that like screamo or metal or things of that nature, they're actually one of the nicest people I ever met, especially at the gym. People that like to blast that music while they're lifting heavy weights. They're one of the best people.
Yeah, we're good. We're back. Yeah, that was weird.
Discord is trying to ruin our boogie.
I swear. Yeah, because I mean we got 10 minutes left, and we went that whole entire time with no lag, and then next thing you know we're dancing, and then it lags. I threw off the bandwidth, guys. I apologize. I need to simmer down.
Blame it on the boogie.
I need to simmer down a little bit.
Going into sports, which is your favorite section, if you want to do that, sir.
Yeah. So, guys, the De'Aaron Fox trade. What was that? De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Bro, that's going to be insane. De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama is going to be perfect together. And the Spurs didn't even have to give up like McCastle or Castle, whatever his name is, the up and coming rookie that they drafted. Bro. The next question. What were the Kings thinking? They took Levine from Chicago, put him back with his old teammate DeMar DeRozan, and nothing happened before in Chicago. Yet, they want to try it again with Sabonis. Maybe with Sabonis it'll work. I don't know. But they said the asking price for Lonzo Ball, because I believe Chicago is just in sell mode, like whatever, just take it. Lonzo Ball is a second-round pick. Guess who has a second-round pick?
Tell me who has a second-round pick.
My LA Lakers. We could use a defensive guard after getting Luka, the offensive juggernaut that he is, which I'm still processing. I love AD. I got like one or two Anthony Davis jerseys, and he's gone now. The Luka trade was rigged. So here's the story about the Luka trade I learned. So when it originally started, it was Anthony Davis, Max Christie, Dalton Connect, and 2 first-round picks. That was the initial request. Rob Pelinka came back and said, listen, if we're keeping this a secret, I can't even talk to Luka. I can't ask if he's gonna re-sign. I don't know. And you want me to give up my title hopes for this year on someone that has conditioning issues, that has workout issues, that is the heaviest he's ever been in his career right now? You want me to take that on a risk when if we give up our top 5 player in the league when he's healthy, top 5 defensive player, top 5 offensive player right now in Anthony Davis, so y'all can win a title, you need to come down a little bit. You're asking a little too much, because the Mavs only wanted Anthony Davis. They wanted no one else. So Rob Pelinka and I forgot the Mav GM's name. Mavs GM's name. I can't talk right now. I'm a little excited. They finally came down to only Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. When they talked to the Jazz did not know the trade was for Luka and AD. They kept that so quiet. The Jazz were like, we just got to give what up? And we get in a player and 2 second-round picks and just take in like $5 million of salary? Hell, why not? I'll do that. Jazz don't care. They know they ain't going nowhere. And now here we are. The trade happened. Guys, we have Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time to see what the Lakers look like. I don't know what they're going to look like. People think that Luka and LeBron can coexist. LeBron said he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to stay with the Lakers. If Luka can pick up what the Lakers can give him or LeBron can give him as far as the conditioning, the diet, and all that, and set him up to, run a team properly and to be the leader of a team properly and pick up LeBron's habits, Luka's going to be a juggernaut, a freaking juggernaut. So we'll see what happens. In basketball, Kevin Durant nearing 30,000 points. Durant is approaching the 30,000 point milestone, just 53 points shy of becoming only the 8th member of the NBA exclusive club. We'll see what happens with that. Oh, the Warriors are talking about getting James and Durant. That is not going to happen, guys. No shot that happens. But in some sadder news of the NBA, Marcus Jordan arrested for DUI and cocaine possession in Florida. Marcus Jordan, the 34-year-old son of the NBA legend Michael Jordan, was arrested in Florida on Monday, February the 3rd, on charges of DUI, possession of cocaine, and resisting arrest. He was booked in the Orange County Jail with a bond set at $4,000.
That's strange. I live in Florida, yet I have heard nothing about this so far. So that's really interesting to find out here on Locale Cafe.
The real question is, did he say, do y'all know who my dad is? Did he say that one time?
I watch a lot of body cam footage, And people always say that when they think that their parental figures are very important. They always say that. So I'm betting he did. And hopefully there would be a body cam footage released eventually, which would be very interesting to watch.
That would be very interesting. So we only got we got 5 minutes left in the show. So what did you think of Lolcow Live last night? With the whole McJugger Nuggets, and I'm not going to talk about Boogie coming out, right? I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this emotional grown men moment that we had. Mm-hmm. Some would say beautiful. Some would say super cringe. I'm going to leave out my thoughts on it. I'm going to let you think of which one I am. Chat, guess which one I think it was. But anyway, with Miss Beans, let's close this out. What did you think of the McJugger Nuggets moment?
Am I going to get in trouble if I say I didn't watch it? So okay. I didn't watch the whole McJugger Nuggets moment. I did watch the beginning. I did see Boogie's coming out story, I guess you can say. He wants my man. And I'm not gonna let him have my man. He was asked by Keemstar, who is the most attractive man in the LCU. Unfortunately, he didn't say you, Ken. He said Grim.
You see me crying, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see me crying?
Probably crying tears of joy, if that's what you mean.
I did that dono.
You dodged Boogie.
And I did that dono. I said, Boogie, I could have used my deep, warm voice to tell you bed night stories as you go to sleep. You could have had chat in there too, spooning you while I'm reading you bedtime stories. Sorry.
That's very true. But he said if Keemstar wasn't available to pick, he would pick Grim. So I think he might have, I don't want to say a fetish, but he might be attracted to people with big beards.
Yeah.
Which would make a lot of sense.
My beard isn't big, as they say. But, you know, it is what it is. We're going to play this quick clip. Clip, guys. This was, again, take from it what you will.
But when you're going to run a whole bit where Boogie's now gay, even though I know he's bisexual and has wanted to fuck me, I just don't think it's right that you're going to clickbait it, use this as a tool to get more clout based off Boogie's expense, based off sexuality, which is the same shit you did to me.
Oh, what are you talking about? What did I do to you?
What are you talking about? You tried to fucking Actually, no, it wasn't. You tried because luckily I had a moment to defend myself. But you tried to cancel my career. After the career that I've spent almost 2 decades building, you tried to do a whole fucking hate campaign against me, and with a bunch of people, Boogie being one of them.
Guys, if you missed Lolcow Live last night, please go back and watch it. It was something. I don't think there's a show going on at 12, so we could probably go a little over.
Okay, we can go a little bit over. I did want to mention Lolcow Weather. We're going to try out a new segment called Lolcow Weather. If you want to try out, you can go to Lolcow Test, which is always going to be, not always, but I believe it's going to be every day at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
So here's the conditions for participation. You must be a member in the Discord. If you don't remember, that means you have to be a cash cow or higher, $10 and up. And of course, we'd prefer if you were a member of Lolcow Cafe, wink wink. We would like you to have a green screen set up. You never know where you'll be reporting from. And just make sure that you're funny, because we are trying this new segment out kind of to break up like the seriousness, bring a little humor, bring a little comedy to the Lolcow Cafe. So if you want to try out, make sure you get on Lolcow Test tonight or this morning, whichever you believe 12 a.m. is. There is some debate on that. In other news, earlier today in Lolcow Cafe, Keemstar did pop in and tell us that the TCG, I'm pretty sure it's TCG, is going to have new merch.
Yep. It'd be awesome if we could get a Locale Cafe cup like we were talking about. Imagine. That way we could all drink our coffee out of the Locale Cafe cups. That would be beautiful,
Oh, definitely.
guys. That would be amazing.
I'm pretty sure eventually it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And if not, I'll make my own.
Definitely. And then you'll have to send me one. Just make it
Oh, that's very true.
this size. Because I like big things in my hand that hold coffee.
That seems very suggestive, Mr. Ken.
Hey.
This is a family show. A family show.
That is. But I'm out of coffee, guys. You know what that means?
Refill?
Yep. It's not, my camera hates me. I am so sorry, chat. Again, it knows my Elgato's coming today. So it just keeps doing whatever it wants to do right now. So maybe I'll look a little bit better tomorrow. I'm going to play with it a little bit, when it comes in, look at the different backgrounds and settings, because I know people, you know what I mean, with the guest room, but we'll make something happen. But
I'm very interested to see what they're coming out with in the merch store.
Definitely.
I did see that recently they came out with a hat, and I was ready to get my hands on that hat. It looks super cool. And Tuffy even said, "Hey, if you buy this hat, maybe I'll sign it for you." And my fingers were itching for that hat, especially when I have my bad hair days, which apparently some people think I don't have. I do. But I need to wait until I get some extra monies because I am dead broke after buying this PC. Speaking of PC, if you need a PC, go to Meta PC and use code KEEM. And if you want to go to the TCG card shop, make sure to use code BEANS for all your TCG locale needs.
that is it. I know whenever I have a bad hair day, I have my Manicure hat that Keemstar signed. Shout out to Lord Rush and Keemstar during the camping trip. We got hooked up, so.
I always forget that you were at the camp. Because
No.
I remember seeing you, but I was like, Ken.
Do I look
because
like
you
a hat
were
guy?
going. You do, but I think that's also like a default whenever you come out of the military. You just turn into a hat guy.
Yeah. So what's funny is like in the military, others can tell you this. We had to like wear it to where like this was parallel. So a lot of times it would be, I got a big head, but like there's like nothing here. So, but you had to wear it where it was like, parallel brim like this or whatever. So, it'd be a little.
A little goofy looking.
Oh, man. Lean on Me says they're probably going to try out. I hate this camera. Guys, I think it's time to end the show because my camera hates me. I think it's ready to say kaput. So I apologize for the camera going in and out, but we're going to be beautiful tomorrow. See, it's still going in and out. But as I am nice and fuzzy, I appreciate everybody coming out today, chilling with us. We went a little bit of overtime, but, that's all great. I hate my camera. I'm not going to ruin y'all vision, but enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. I hope it is a calm and beautiful day. Let me try it one more time.
You gotta end it with your lovely face, Ken. You can't leave the people waiting.
Beans, I hope you have a great day yourself, ma'am. I hope
You too, Mr. Ken.
I hope that Mr. Grimm has an amazing midnight show. And remember, guys, is the application still open that you created?
No. So what Grimm is doing nowadays, he completely trashed my application idea because I guess I'm a little control freak. So what he's doing now is whenever he does have a locale test, all you have to do is get into members waiting. He wants to minimize his DMs blowing up. He wants to minimize the confusion and the back and forth. Just make sure you have a solid idea. Make sure you're confident. Make sure that you're ready to go and just hop into members waiting. Also, make sure you have a camera and a microphone. If you have a telephone, that's completely fine. Just make sure that you turn on your camera because a lot of people want to see your pretty little faces whenever you're proposing an idea.
Last thing I'll say is please avoid the flashing lights. Let's not do that. It's very distracting. Some viewers may be, epileptic. I said that correctly? So
Yes, sir.
let's avoid flashing lights, guys. But, you know, thank you, chat, for being here with us today. Hope you enjoyed your coffee with the Lockout Cafe. Until next time, everyone, we will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Have a great morning. Afternoon now, sorry.
Good morning, y'all. It's Rise and Shine. Grab your coffee cup, come spend some time. I know it's early, the start of a new day. No need to worry, it's Lockout Cafe. Rise and shine, baby, wake and bake. Clear out your